I became kind of a rebel, fought against my mom, and decided to, go for IIT JEE coaching in Kota. 2013, when I reappeared and qualified for IIT, I think it was probably the best highlight moment for my entire educational experience. When I entered the office of Airblack for the first time, I was literally seeing 4 or 5 odd people, and that was quite a, reality check for me that hey, it is going to be very, very different. I come from a very small town called Motihari, which is in the district of Champaran in Bihar. I think the early childhood sort of shaped my personality towards, getting hard checks and harsh realities of life, because while we were growing up, the state was not really as developed as it is today. I fought really very, very hard against my mom to, go out and study. She really wanted me to stay back at my hometown and continue my studies over there. I became kind of a rebel, fought against my mom, and then went out of my hometown and decided to, go for IIT JEE coaching in Kota. When Kota happened, I think those 3 years truly opened up, my personality to, sort of transform from an introvert to an extrovert. In the first year itself, I realized that after completing 4 years, I really do not want to graduate just being another roll number in my batch. So I think the entire 4 years were very, very enriching experience, kind of very, very transformative in true essence. And I think from the first year itself, when I decided that I want to really explore a bunch of things, I think from the second semester onwards, first semester just went into, exploring the early days and getting habituated to the campus. But from the second semester onwards, I started taking the onus of, going out, meeting to people, exploring clubs, and, doing bunch of extracurricular activities, so to say, and see, what kind of things, interest me and what kind of things I can pick up for a longer and a deeper interest. I got an opportunity to interview with ITC, which had come into the campus for internship recruitment. Back then, I was very much fascinated with manufacturing at scale, or manufacturing as a space, because I had been a childhood fan of a show called Mega Factories on National Geographic Channel. So I decided to sit for ITC. Somehow got into the opportunity and got selected. So I interned with ITC during my third year break. The experience was very, very interesting. I think I was given a very black box kind of a project. So the problem statement was that I was interning with the cigarettes business, and the project was that they used to get more than 60% of their consumer complaints around taste of cigarette smoke. And now, while they had a lot of rigid quality systems at their factories, manufacturing locations, they were not really able to decode how a consumer can complain about taste. Probably this problem statement can be attempted through machine learning in some way. Decided to collect a lot of data around cigarette and smoke parameters, correlated it with kind of devices that I located across different institutes in India, R&D institutes in India, and then sort of created a predictive model that okay, if there's a tobacco product for any brand of ITC, you can actually predict whether the consumer experience around the sensory experience of that product would be good or bad. At the core, I was not really creating something from scratch. I was not really creating something which was of immense value to the customers. I was one cog in the wheel in the larger scheme of things, trying to optimize things. So I decided to take a leap of faith, and very early on, after completing somewhere around 2.5 years, I decided to quit and joined a very early stage startup called Airblack. When I entered the office of Airblack for the first time, I was literally seeing 4 or 5 odd people, and that was quite a reality check for me that hey, it is going to be very, very different. I did HR, sales, ops, product, you name it, and I was doing it along with the founders. When I had joined, we were actually trying to build a social commerce product for travel as a category. The product that we were building was quite fascinating. I believe India still doesn't have any product like that till date. The entire travel commerce business has not seen something like that for a very, very long time. And we sort of went into that particular market and created Airblack Beauty Club as the next big thing. And I think the entire experience of building that category from scratch along with founders was very, very enriching. I think again got an experience to set up teams from very early days, do sales, set up sales teams, hire for salespeople, productize bunch of things, and then also develop what the core product would be that we would be selling, right? For me at a personal level, I was not really taking care of my personal finances, and here was an inflection point for me around my interest towards finances as such. I realized while staying at home that I have not done much around managing my own money while earning good probably at a very early stage in my life, but I have not really been good at managing that money or investing it at the right places. I decided to build Finiso along with Nishant during that time. We went in and started reading more about the white spaces in the personal finance and investment ecosystem and the kind of products that were there in India, outside India, in the Southeast Asian market as well as the Western markets, and came up with a concept that okay, let's go and build a social investing platform. So we named it Finiso, and we wanted to build a mix of LinkedIn, Twitter, and grow together. We launched it for a very small set of users, early 50, 100 odd users, and we wanted to roll it out for a larger base. But at the same time, a couple of competitors who were building similar stuff in the same space got funded ahead of us. We wasted somewhere around 6 months into that particular process of building pitch decks, doing product demos. We even applied to Y Combinator during that time and pitched to n number of VCs. Any leading VC that you can think of, we approached them, pitched to them, spoke to a bunch of angels, syndicates, etc. But then we realized that the market was not really ready for this kind of a product. It was very, very nascent at that time. Although the interest in the market was coming from the investor community primarily because the retail investment market was actually gaining quite a lot of momentum after COVID. I still run this micro community and very recent. I ran this for probably a year and a half until now, post closing the chapter of Finiso. And very recently, I decided to take a plunge and now I have started a YouTube channel of my own to create content on that. On one fine day, I stumbled upon an opportunity through Matrix Partners for an opening with Stable Money. I had been following Saurabh for a quite long time. Was quite impressed with his own journey from the early days at Swiggy and then Navi, and then taking the leap of faith and starting Stable Money. At that time, since I had become a personal finance and an investment buff, I was really watching the entire fintech space very, very closely. Was following all the founders, all the products, and when I landed upon this opportunity to sort of speak to Saurabh, I decided to go through all the kind of public information which was available about Stable Money everywhere online. Went across watching their podcasts, reading everything around what kind of space they are aiming for. Did a small assignment, then spoke to Harish and sort of landed up here. Stable Money as a brand has really achieved quite a lot in a very, very short span of time, and a lot of that has to be credited to the right decisions and the right kind of strategy that has gone into place. But I think the true success for Stable Money would come when Stable Money would actually become the first preferred choice for people to actually start their risk-free investments.